If there is but one thing that I love in Monster Hunter, well, it would have to be
explosions. But the mountains will shake. I need to know I can still make explosions.
I have not felt inspired to create and share a build of you guys since, well, like Behemoth, and quite frankly that has been too long. The Gamma Armor has been kinda until that is Zorah. So welcome, sit back, this is going to be a blast! So, after a great Gamma Gathering session, I rushed off to make something happen I'd wanted to make happen since day one. In fact, I'd wager a lot of you have too. Fire and Ice, status and element. Crit status, crit element. The 2 set and the 3 in perfect harmony. So I rushed off to stream the day after Zorah, put together my first draft and went to battle. And not only did it work, it went beautifully. It is one of the most fun, if not the most fun, non-greatsword builds I've done in World. And it's not just gone from the trash it was with base Zorah armor to kind of okay. No, it is really powerful. So there are 10 combinations that you can choose from to still achieve 3 pieces of crit status and 2 pieces of crit element, and of course your charm slot. So I very carefully went through them all, and this is the one I feel is best. So, actually, before we go over in a little bit more detail, Fire and Ice, because I get asked this a lot, your left hand is specifically blast, your right hand is ice, so only left-handed strikes add to the blast, and only right-handed strikes do ice damage. It's the kind of inbuilt balancer, otherwise hitting full frequency with both would be a little bit strong. So the initial stumbling block for me was finding a setup with enough 1 slots. Because you do kind of need them, whether that being filling out on expert decorations, or putting in the bit of ice attack and bit of blast. But at the bottom line, what we needed was to meet a certain criteria, and that criteria is 100% affinity and crit element and status. And then on top of that, as much extra goodness as we can cram into one fun-filled set. And that's what we got here. So in this setup, you could put in your 3 health, if you prefer that. You could put in your 2 ice attack, which is all you need to max it, and then 1 more blast to round that off. Or you could put in 4 attack jewels, lose an expert, gain that 5% affinity back anyway, although granted, only those of you that have sacrificed a goat to Ares himself has that many to play with. So currently, this is at 90%. You would augment the weapon with affinity to reach that 100, but personally, because I don't plan on pushing speed run times with this, I'm happier to just take the extra bit of recovery up that we get from the Azure Star-Lord gauntlets, and then have a health augment, and the health intake is surprisingly respectable. You can essentially just surge your health up while you blast blighters to bits. And look, I realize when I do these build videos, I kind of go on and on, like, I feel like a lot of you just wanna click on this and be told, here's the build, off you go. But look, I can't help it. I love theory crafting in this game. It's such a passion of mine, and I just like talking about why I've done what I've done. Either way, look, it is categorically, empirically, the most fun dual blade experience I have had, full stop, in 12, has it been 12 years? 12 years of Monster Hunter. Good fashion, good fun, and good power. It meets the triumvirate of a good build.
We're fire and ice.
Oh, and for you PC players, this is the best you can kinda do right now. It's not great, it's much worse than using Gamma Zorah, but it is still fun, and you'll kill stuff, so if you still want to get a taste of this, bloody do it! Now then, we focus on something a little bit more blasty specifically, because don't get me wrong, I like all statuses, except Poison. Poison is garbage! What the fuck? Seriously though, I do like Poison, and I wish it wasn't awful. I've tried to make it not awful, but at this point I feel like it needs to work uniquely compared to the other statuses, because it's just blah. Aside from that though, I enjoy the pursuit of perfect paralysis. I enjoy the seduction of surprise sleep. But most of all, yeah, most of all, I like the way you blast! Because it's, of course, the best status. Now, you don't have to agree, but you would be wrong! I mean, is your favourite status introduced by and represented by the best slime daddy in all the land? I didn't think so. So what I have gone and done then is made a real mess of the middle part of this video. But what I've also gone and done is set myself the challenge of designing a set that gives a maximum amount of blastage, 100% affinity, all of the procs, but it works for every weapon without you having to change armor. You only swap to your preferred choice of arms. And I'm quite happy with what I've come up with. So here is the version using dual blades as an example, and this does come in two flavors. The first one then is, I guess, the earplugs option. And look, I've often said earplugs is a waste a lot of the time, but in this case, I don't mind it, because one, you get two on the gloves, and it seems a waste to not finish it off when you can do so without really weakening the build at all. And then two, when the objective of these is to run up to the monster, hit it hard and fast immediately, and get as many blast procs as possible, you want to be going mental during its opening roar. It really does make a difference. So then everything else is tailored towards the main core goals. 100% affinity, all of the blast, all of the crit boost, and then cramming as much extra goodness in as possible. And this leaves you with 3 slots to do whatever your heart desires. Be it put in just some health, or add a little bit of extra or just tailor it to how you like your playstyle with the weapon. So, for example then, if we go to the bow version of this that I did, I've got in your blast coat, because why not have Apothecary Mantle, blast status, blast coat? It's just absolutely incredible. You actually almost end up with Kelby Bow's level. Okay, well, nothing is ever going to come close to Kelby Bow again, but it almost feels like it. I got like 3 blast procs in the opening volley of arrows, and then I put in a little bit of Constitution for some more hoppy hops. So it's very customizable, despite it being a one-size-fits-all set. So if you're thinking, well, I don't want earplugs, no matter what you say, well, I've got good news for you! Because the second flavor I mentioned is a more all-out offensive variety, getting in a little bit of extra attack primarily, but again, it works as a blasty, powerful, and it is very powerful, template for every single weapon. You keep these 5 slots, you swap your weapon out that you want, and then you customize with the slots the weapon brings. Now, as a little caveat, the focus of these blast templates is exactly that, blast. They are very potent no matter what Styx weapon you put in there. Yeah, even Blast Greatsword, which is quite amusing, but for a certain few weapons, if you want more a general purpose build that happens to use a blast weapon, you could optimize a further bit more. But as I said, that wasn't really my goal. I wanted a one-size-fits-all maximum blast build that's viable for any given weapon type, and I really do think I've achieved that. So if you like your blast status, and you like the look of this, and it is actually quite a nice looking set fashion-wise, then I would definitely heartily recommend you giving it a go. Even if you do suck as much as I do on a weapon of choice, like the bow here. Seriously, I'm just the worst. I really am. And if you wonder why I'm playing like I am in terms of my arrow firing choices, I want to get the most explosions. The most I've gotten is about 9 in 25 seconds, and to do that you just want the most separate instances of numbers of damage popping up as possible. So the best way to achieve that is R2, 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 R2 with Mighty Bow, and then a circle afterwards for just the most arrows per time. But yeah, I will leave you with that then, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed this, and well, let me know if you would like more frequent build videos. I, as I've said, love coming up with them, and, well, inherently, whenever I have thought of one that I think is worth sharing, I do. It's just been such a dry well at the moment, with just nothing really that exciting and new being added in the armor theory crafting department. Hopefully, right, I can finally show you the build I've been wanting to always show you once Kulftaroth hits PC. And I would have shown you the build that this weapon lets me do. If I had one! But alas, the desire sensor taketh, and the desire sensor, well, it doesn't giveth at any point, does it? My name has been Josh. Let me know what your thoughts on this one, guys. Hopefully it was still a fun video, even if you don't care for a bit of blast. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Rage Gaming with the video float.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo, but I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you even though the outro's no longer that kind of relevant. But the new one's being worked on, and it's gonna be a truly badass song, and don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.